What's going on, y'all? So listen. What's going on, y'all? So we are back again for another episode review of The Shy. This is season 5. Season 3, episode 5, Terror Town. Listen. Okay. Now I know I said what I said last week, and I meant every last word about that. Okay, and I don't know what happened, but baby, they picked that shit up this week. Okay, they said, listen, y'all just gonna get one filler episode. Some of y'all had mixed opinions. Some of y'all thought it was good. Some of y'all thought it was okay or whatever. But this episode made up for last week's episode, in my opinion. This has probably got to be one of the better episodes this season. Okay, out of the 5 that's been shown, this has got to be my favorite right about now. Listen, I can't wait to live tweet. Listen. Bitch, I said, am I watching a drama on Showtime or whatever, or am I watching a horror show? Okay, like the suspense was everything. Okay, and that's what I love, bitch. Let me tell you something. We gonna get into it. Okay, so um. Okay, calm down. Let me just get into the little people out the way. Jada and Tomas. Okay, now I don't even know if I really mentioned them or whatever after, they met when she was at work, when she was working on old girl in, at her job or whatever. And he just opened up the door and, he was talking to her, talking about, can we go out? We just friends and stuff like that. Cause she said she usually don't date co-workers and stuff like that. And so, I guess he buttered her up enough for them to go out for some drinks or whatever on a strictly friends trying to get to know you type of base. Okay. So I guess that has progressed into let's be boyfriend girlfriend or try to be boyfriend girlfriends, because in this episode, baby girl, we going to see Tomas' pet family. Okay. And I'm like, excuse me, my sinuses have been off the chain. So if you hear me doing all that, I apologize in advance. I'm sitting here like, how many weeks is it been? I know Keisha been gone for over a week now. Okay, probably 2. But how long y'all been kicking it? Did the timeline jump up a little bit more, whatever? Because at this point, we going to meet the family. I said this is a little bit quick to be going to meet the family if we still get to know each other, whatever. So, he's a typical Latin family or whatever on the south side of Chicago. They having a little fiesta. Bitch, let me tell you something what happened last night. And I'm saying this because y'all know I live next to Mexicans and all this, like left, right, front, back Mexicans. You know what I'm saying? But they cool or whatever. But I fell asleep around 8 something, almost 9 o'clock last night. Because I had it all in my mind that I was gonna stay up and I was gonna watch this episode, get this review out so I can just have it out there, in the morning or whatever, whenever. Okay, that didn't work. Mother Nature came through and said, "No, girl, you gonna take your ass to bed." I said, "Oh, so you just gonna drain the life out of me?" She said, "Yes," and I said, "Okay, I'm gonna oblige." I woke up around 12 something. Why they decided to play the music? Didn't play no music the whole day because it was hot as hell outside. Didn't play no music the whole day. Next thing you know, around 12 something in the morning, boom, 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 boom. Boom, 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 boom. I said, you gotta be out your goddamn mind. That shit went on until like 3 something in the morning, okay? Because I was sleeping on and off because of it. I said, you crazy. You gotta be out your mind. Bitch, that's what this reminded me of, because when they have parties, baby, Mexicans throw down, okay? They be throwing down. But, anyway, so we meet this lady. I believe that's his mama. Jada up there talking to her. Tomas, introducing to her, whatever. Tomas go do whatever he had to do, leaving Jada by herself with the mama. She was like, you don't need to be over here with us or whatever. We can talk. We can think for ourselves. And everything seems so cool or whatever. She talking to her, asking, questions or whatever. Everything seems nice. This other guy pulls up that probably was Tomas' brother, and he just rolled up on her. I ain't like the way he rolled up on Jada. Was like, so you're Jada? Jada? That's what it is? That's such a beautiful name or whatever. Then they go sit down and talk or whatever. Do you know Spanish? Jada was like, no, I took Spanish in Kenwood. I said, Kenwood, I took Spanish out here in Kenwood, and as far as I remember, is hola and gracias, okay? That's it, And so next thing you know, they started talking in Spanish in front of her. I didn't like that. I said, what you trying to say? Next thing you know, they bringing up this other lady or whatever named Irene or whatever, and come to find out it was Tomas' ex-wife, okay? And, come to find out Tomas' wife passed away. Jada didn't know nothing about this. So basically they comparing Jada to this girl, this woman, as if she's like this heavenly angel, like she's just above and beyond the best of all people. And Jada kind of messed up a little bit because Jada thinks before she speaks sometimes. She thinks exactly. She says whatever comes out, what she's thinking at that moment, whether it's good or bad. And when she was like, who is she? It was like, wait a minute, that's Irene, that's his ex-wife. Wait a minute, what? Oh, she passed away. And she was like, oh, thank God. And she was like, no. I mean, not thank God that she dead or whatever. Thank God that, he's not out here, living a double life, having a wife on the side and me and all this stuff. And it just didn't go over well. She up in the bathroom having a panic attack. She trying to listen to somebody called Iyanla. I said, they don't sound like no damn Iyanla. But for copyright purposes, they had to get somebody else to play it. But okay, I was just waiting for Beloved. But who is that? Yes. Okay. John Lee Cowell was just sentenced to life in prison for the murder of Nia Wilson at the Oakland BART station from 2018. Y'all remember that story. Look that up. Nia Wilson. Black girl got killed by that man. But anyway, I'm sorry. Anyway, that's what he fucking deserved. Should have got death penalty, but we'll get back to that later. Anyway, so, she trying to calm herself down. Afterwards, they walking home and she felt a little blindsided about all this stuff, because she's like, you didn't tell me about the ex-wife and why this and why that. We getting to know each other and all this stuff. It was like, I didn't want you to be pressured or, feel out of way or whatever. She was like, well, I was feeling pressured because I was with your parents. Okay, I was with your mom. I'm in there having a panic attack. I wasn't prepared for an ex-wife to come up in there. You know what I'm saying? So, they have to figure that out. I said, Jada, now see, I'm liking the fact because Jada used to be a little closed off. Jada, please don't use this as a reason to go back and fuck around with Darnell, okay? You don't want those problems. We don't want those problems at all. Meanwhile, we got the kids, okay? Well, we got Trigg. Let's get them out the way right quick. Trigg and Imani, Imani got her friends over. They talking about all the stuff that's going on, catching up on the good gossip or whatever. Hey, girl, what's up, girl? Listen, I heard about what happened between you and old boy. Like, when you got into that fight with old boy, like, everybody was talking about that, boy. I ain't finna give up my sources or whatever. Meanwhile, Trigg is out there looking out the door. He's supposed to be waiting for, like, social services to come, okay? And so he just real nervous about everything that's happening. And at this point, we get into this discussion about, Imani's friend being on Grindr, looking for trade and how she needs to stop trying to pull that stuff or whatever, because that's what trade do. They try to, you never know. Basically, trade mostly is straight guys or whatever, or who like DL or whatever, like that stuff. Or you could correct me in comments or whatever. But basically, it's dangerous what she's doing. Okay, you're trying to pull off that you something that you're really not to them, even though technically they 9 out of 10s probably already know, but when they want to all of a sudden find out, they get upset and then they want to, fuck your ass up and all that stuff. And she was just trying to tell her, you need to be safe, okay? And then the DCF lady comes there, and so she tell them to go out the bag. They get in the attitude that they got to go out the bag. Mama took her box wine and everything. I said, I know that's right. Take what you came with, okay? And so the DCF lady up in there looking at everything, on the table. You got some beer bottles that was open, some food that was open or whatever, because they just got through eating and, snacking it up. And so she was like, did you have some people over here? She was like, oh, I just got through finished with my clients or whatever. What do you do? I'm a hairstylist, okay? And then he was like, do you have a certification or whatever to do to do hair in this house or whatever? She was like, no, but I'm in the process of getting it. And it was like, who are you to Trigg or whatever? Trigg was like, that's my wife. Well, on this paperwork, it does not list that y'all are married or whatever. Well, technically we're not married. That's my woman though. Okay, technically that's my wife. And it was like, well, that's your girlfriend. So what I'm gonna need you to do is I'm gonna need you to put that back on the paperwork that that's your girlfriend. That's what we're gonna have her listed as. Okay. Looking at the outlet, one of the outlets cover was just exposed or whatever. So of course he gets upset about that, because she's writing everything's down. The DCF person is doing what she's supposed to be doing. You inspect the house to see if there's any hazards and stuff like that. Trigg just not understanding that. He think that she just trying to come down on him or whatever. So he gets the attitude to the point where she was like, listen, I'm gonna give you 2 weeks to go get this stuff fixed up, okay? And at this point, Imani, she gets in her feelings and she was like, I got to get out of here. He comes in the room, see Imani in there packing up her stuff to go back to Kankakee. And, he was like, what's wrong with you? You can stay out here. She don't want to mess anything up, his possibilities for getting Jake back, And so she goes into a little story about how she's not clean because they're gonna look at your records, and he was like, okay, you got a little felony possession on you or whatever, this little petty stuff, okay, that was 5 years ago, we changed, we did some good stuff or whatever, so that shouldn't even worry. And she was like, no, it's deeper than that, you don't know everything. So she sits down, he sits down, they start talking. And she was like, when she was 16 years old, her daddy called her wearing drag, and he always wanted to be a son, wanted to have his son or whatever, but what he got was a daughter. And so the daddy got pissed off, of course. They got into a fight. He choked her out. And basically what wound up happening is she said, I could see it in his face and I can see it that either he was going to take me out or I had to take him out. And I wound up having to take him out, and so he got blood on, she has blood on her hands from him. Got to get my stuff together, girl. I don't want to misgender people. But basically, she had to kill her own daddy. She had to kill her own daddy because the daddy was going to take her out. And she said, no, girl, no, sir, we not finna have that, okay? And so at this point, Trigg was like, it is what it is. You still got me and all this stuff. He's still trying to convince. He was like, stay here with me. I love you. And he, after he told her that he loved her, she was like, I love you too and everything. And I was like, okay, cool. So moving on from that. There was this one particular point where Douda was in the office. Okay, we ain't gonna get to that point yet. Douda was in his office and he was talking to Jake. Okay, this is what after everything has happened or whatever, and they having a little discussion, bonding moment, and all this stuff. And then, Douda get a text from Big Mike, and Big Mike told him to come outside right now. And he was like, he got to go out back. Jake was like, can I come too? He was like, okay, cool. So Big Mike had this dude outside that had been spray painting all over Douda's, campaign posters or whatever. And so he was like, let him go, Big Mike, calm down. And so we see Douda taking his jacket off. And I said, oh, nah, Douda ain't had to mess a nigga up in a long time. So therefore, he like, let me get a taste of this. And at one point, I felt like he was probably going to let him go a little bit. But after he said what he said, which was a trigger point, because if you remember from last week's episode, when he sat there in the car with Candy and said that his teacher told him that, he was like, he want to be mayor of Chicago like Harold Washington was. And he was like, you was born on the south side in Inglewood. You can never be mayor. You need to get a trade or whatever. So he got to prove people wrong that he can be, right? So old boy was like, no disrespect and no offense, but you ain't no Harold Washington. I said, nigga, first of all, what you know about Harold Washington? You don't even look like you read. But that looks can be deceiving. You know what I'm saying? And at this point, I said, uh-oh, what's finna happen? I saw that lip twitch. I said, Otis, what you about to do? He turned into Otis and Douda at the same time, okay? He was having conflicts. Next thing you know, he didn't hit him in the face, grabbed the bottom teeth, yanked him down on the floor, and then just kept stomping him in his back right underneath his neck. I said, oh, you paralyzed that boy. Jake saw that. That scared Jake. Jake ran all the way over there to Trigg house, and they had a moment where they was just, hugging each other, whatever, and protecting him. I was like, I really like that moment because it's a conflict between Trigg and Jake. You don't know whether or not Jake really want to stay with Otis, or you don't know if he really want to go with Trigg, or how he truly feels about Trigg. And then to see them come together like that, I appreciate that moment. That's where he felt safe at. That he had to come to him. So that was cute. But speaking of the kids going out. They at I think they was at Otis' place or whatever, and Gemma was supposed to be coming up there. And the kids, they don't all go to the same school. You got what's his name? You got Papa, the only one that's still at the school. I don't know if he's still at the same school that they all used to go to, or if he transferred to another school. But we do know that Jake and Kevin go to the school on the north side. And of course, Gemma is coming. Jake didn't know. Jake is upset. Why you got to bring that bougie bitch up in here and all this stuff? He yang. And regardless, see, let me tell you something. Jake got to learn some manners, okay? Regardless of how you may feel, that is your boy's girl. You can't be disrespectful and think that he gonna just take up for you and not take up for her, especially when his feelings are all the way in there. It's, and even Papa had to tell him that, you got to respect his girl at this point. See, Papa got all the sense, okay? I love me some Papa. I love it when you call me Big Papa. I love me some him. You know what I'm saying? Because he's just like a grown little man. He's so mature, okay? He's the peace factor in the group to bring them together. He said, don't make me have to get the boxing gloves. And plus, Papa also invited Maisha. And so, they all having a good time or whatever. Next thing you know, they want to go to this little haunted house, and they get there, and in the midst of that talking, they talking about paranormal activity. Every time Gemma says something, Jake want to come back and say, how you this and you that, blah, blah, blah. It was getting tiring, okay, Jake? We understand you don't like it because you feel like she's taking your friend away. That's what it feels like to me. He a little jelly. And then Papa got his girl too. Everybody got somebody but Jake, okay? And I guess he feel like the crew kind of breaking up a little bit. It's not the real same the way that it used to be, and that's okay. I understand, but it still got to have a little bit more respect, a little bit more tact and everything, And so at this point, the lights had went out. They turned it back on. They was playing games or whatever, and then the lights completely went out because it was a blackout. Okay, so they in there trying to figure out how to get home, okay? Whether they gonna walk the streets on St. Lawrence, they gonna go down Cottage Grove, they gonna go down King Drive or whatever. Jim wanna go St. Lawrence. They was like, no girl, we ain't over there. Jake said, listen, I can't go over there, because his brother and the gang that his brother was affiliated with, and he affiliated by association, he can't go over there because that's dangerous or whatever. And so Maisha and Gemma get into it. Maisha wound up calling Gemma a bitch, and she was like, don't call me out my name, okay? She was like, what you gonna do, bitch? I said, oh my goodness. Now see, Gemma, she getting on my nerves just a little bit, but I understand, like she said, she not from around here. And at one point, they trying to figure out which territory that they can go into without getting hurt or whatever. And Gemma wants to go to the most dangerous one. It was like, you got to calm down because this ain't it. And it was like, they are people. We should come together. And Maisha said, they not your people, okay? Because she's different. And even Gemma had to tell it's not my fault that I'm growing up and I got a lot more than you have or something to Jake or whatever. I was like, you know what I'm saying? Gemma, don't make me dislike you, but I get what you were saying. Jake kind of had that coming up. But, Gemma, just because you black don't mean that you can relate to everybody because you didn't grow up with them. You didn't grow up in the neighborhood that they went up. Y'all on two different socioeconomic wavelengths. You know what I'm saying? Two ends of the spectrum, And so they trying to figure out how to go. Gemma said she gonna take the St. Lawrence with the niggas, okay? And Kevin, of course, he went with her. And they was walking down the street in this blackout, which was mostly on the south side, and niggas just walking up to him and all this stuff and saying stuff, whatever. And she was like, oh my god, you're not scared? He was like, no, I ain't scared, girl, I'm here, this my shit. And they come up on them little memorial for the girl that we found missing that was passed away at the beach last week, and it was like, did you know her? She was like, no, I didn't. But this was a girl that they thought was Keisha or whatever, but at least her parents know where she's at. You know what I'm saying? So that implies that he finally did tell her about Keisha, but we just didn't see it. So that was going on. Maisha and Papa wound up kicking it at Sonny's, okay? And, he wound up asking her to be his girlfriend and, saying, I'll treat you like the queen you are. I'll get you this. I'll get you that. And she was like, okay, so what do you want me to do for you? And he was like, I mean, I don't know. She said, hold up. This gonna be an equal partnership type of thing. If we gonna be up in this gotta be 50-50. I said, these little kids are so freaky mature. It's a whole bunch of grown folks that don't understand that concept, and they got it down packed already, and they ain't got nothing to offer each other because they kids at this point, and they are doing it. All right, he was like, I'm trying to learn my Bible a little bit more, trying to play tennis, trying to do this, and she was like, well, my cousin just stole a tennis racket. I can get that to you, and I can hold you accountable for your Bible studies and stuff like that. I said, this is cute. And Gemma and Kevin wind up meeting them at Sonny's or whatever, and they started dancing, and that was really nice. Speaking of Sonny's, okay, so Emmett and Dime still doing this whole thing. At one point when we first see Emmett, he's at the desk. Sonny's about to open up. He's in a daze because he's tired. Sonny asking him, is the baby keeping you up? Is it Keisha, Tiffany, or whatever? What's happening? And he was like, nah, it's just work or whatever. Just doing the line, picking up extra shifts there and doing this and all that. And so I figured out from that conversation right then and there, Sonny knew what was going on and was just waiting for him to say something. But he never did. And then later on, when Dime came up in there and they talking about the peak hours and all this stuff and getting the food out there and woo 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 and flirting with each other, she even mentioned, you need to tell him. You need to tell him eventually, okay? You should have went on ahead and told him what was up. So when that was going on, next thing you know, we had the blackout, and they was trying to figure out what they gonna do. Is they still gonna open it up to stuff? And they wind up taking the grills outside, the smokers or whatever, and having this little cookout or whatever outside, charging $10 a plate or whatever, having the music going. And I said I knew this was gonna be the time where Sonny gonna pop up, but it was this blogger that popped up that wanted the food, and she was loving the food. At first, Don was, don't give her none of my food, don't give her none of my food, not in this circumstance or whatever. No, don't do that. But of course, Emmett went on ahead and did it. And plus, Emmett was getting into the food that's supposed to be for the restaurant during the day, getting into the regular stash. You ain't supposed to do that, okay? He was just doing too much. And at this point, Sonny then popped up on him, and what Sonny said hurt my heart. He said, I thought you was going to you had the dignity to even come to me as a man. You was the son that I always thought I wanted, okay? I looked at you like that, and I still thought that you was going to be able to come to me like a man and tell me what was going on, because I knew I was waiting for you to tell me, and you still couldn't even do that. Basically told him, you disappointed the hell out of me. Get up out my establishment. Shut this shit down. Basically, you ain't shit. You're not a man. You're still a boy. And I was like, ooh, that just hurt. That hurt him. That hurt me for him saying that, okay? Down standing there looking like, and I said, what y'all gonna do now? What y'all finna do now? Meanwhile, Ronnie then got baptized. I don't care how long this review is. It's really good. It was a really good episode. Ronnie then got baptized. And so, the blackout part happened. He already told the pastor that he was having this calling, that God was telling him to find Keisha, whatever. And so when that happened, I got baptized or whatever, and he was out there, talking to the people at the church. He went and got some new clothes or whatever. He went out there to go find Miss Ethel, right? He went to that part really made me mad. That part really, really pissed me off when he went to the nursing home where she was at, and she was not in the room. And yeah, it's a blackout that's happening. And when he was asking, where is she? Do you know what's going on? The nurse was like making it like she wasn't a priority. Yes, you got a lot of patients, but you should at least show some type of, oh my God, I can't believe one of the patients have gone. She wasn't showing none of that type of panic. She was just I see you're overworked, but it was just, I didn't like her reaction. I just got here and I got to deal with 20 other patients, and I got to deal with the fact that the backup generator just failed us and all this stuff. And I'm just like, oh my goodness, show some remorse, show some like you're concerned or whatever. She didn't show none of that. Okay. And so he got to go down on the street looking for his grandmother. And then, one of his friends actually found the grandma outside, knocking on this old house that really wasn't even hers or whatever, trying to get Ronnie to give her the remote control so she could see her Judge Judy and stuff like that. And he wind up calling Ronnie down there, and they started talking, and she was a little, lucid just a little bit, to the point that she realized that that was Ronnie, her grandson. And but she was still thinking about the fact that she's still in the place of him literally just coming home from serving, in war or whatever. And so the pastor had gave him this pamphlet to go to this shelter. And so he was walking down the street, and he hears some screaming or whatever that's going on. And so he was like, Keisha, and I was just sitting here like, oh my God, find her. We'll get to that in a second. But before we get to that, we're going to pause on that. Let me get Mr. Otis and Candy out the way. Because the first time we see them, Candy is talking about, so you getting all the stuff on the south side, but you got to get something on the north side. And them north side folks, they really love the gays or whatever. And that girl, she gay. How come the black folks can't just be homophobic like they used to be back in the day? I said, hold up, Candy. What you talking, okay? Girl, Otis was eating that thing out. Every time Otis tried to come up for air, Candy said, go back down, bitch. Okay? I said, you know what? Ty didn't watch this, okay? Ty didn't watch this. Ty probably had an issue with this, because next thing they talking about, he was like, I'm the king of the south side. She was like, yeah, go back down, okay? Talking about what he needs to do, how he gonna get all the south side. The south side is the biggest ward or whatever, and whoever gets the south side, that's who wins and all this stuff. Girl turned her over on that desk and started banging her ass out. And she was like, you need to get this shit just like you did me. Okay, that's how hard you need to go. Just like you did me. He was like, fuck you. She said, you already did that shit. I said, you know what, Candy? I didn't think she would be able to pull it out, but she pulled it off enough for me. I was like, all right. Tired at home looking at her like, so you really gonna sit here and you gonna moan for another nigga? That's what you gonna do? That's what you gonna do? Oh my God, Todd is just acting. They stop playing with them. But anyway, get to Keisha. When the episode starts off, we hear this water dripping, okay? And we hear this humming or whatever, this guy talking. And if you put the subtitles up, they said that his name is Omari, okay? And so he got this tin tub that he has Keisha in the tub, bathing her, talking about something, gotta get you clean or whatever, because when I saw you, you was dirty, you was looking like a slut or whatever, and you gotta get clean for daddy. And I said, clean for daddy, and it's like this little makeshift little apartment down there he got her in, got her, cameras all focused on her, feeding her and everything before he leaves, and got her just where she been at. And when I seen that, I said, okay, thank God she's still alive. Keisha is still alive. Unfortunately, she's been taken, but she's been taken by somebody that we had no idea took her. Now, I seen the comments and thing people was trying to say Dre probably had something to do with. Dre seems a little suspicious, and I was like, no, I don't think Dre got any suspect doing with this. I didn't see this part coming, okay? Dude was just, feeding her, whatever. He left. He had the cameras focused on her. It's like motion detected. Every time she gets up, the cameras follow her. She had to go to the bathroom. She get the bedpan and she goes into the bathroom to take a squat over the pan, and it's a camera focused on her, and you hear the camera says from the mic, smile for daddy. I said, oh my God. She up in there crying, trying to force a goddamn smile. I said, oh my goodness, no. But then when the blackout happened, baby, big. When the blackout happened and she was trying to bust that door open, I said, oh my God, the camera's down, Girl, I got real into it. I was sitting here like, oh my God, the camera's down. Okay, Keisha, it's your time, girl. It is your time. Keisha said, damn, bitch. Okay, cool. The camera's down. Let me get through this door. Boom, boom, boom. We look at the door. 2 locks on the outside of the door. I said, shit, padlocks too. Okay, how we gonna do this? You know, Keisha just go a little bit crazy. She hears some music outside. She trying to bam on the window. Can't nobody hear, whatever, because then them thick glass that you can't hear nothing through. Okay, and I said, oh no, she ain't gonna get out. But this is the prime opportunity for her to get out. She needs to escape right now. Okay, the suspense is building. She just go crazy. She knocking everything down or whatever, like, oh my God. I'm like, Keisha, you gotta find a way. Come on, we can't fall apart, okay? Gather yourself, because we don't know when this man gonna come back. This is your opportunity. She sees something of the rack, and she just pick up a piece of it, and she uses it to ram the door, because she wasn't strong enough with her own body weight. She needed something else to help her, and so she wound up busting that door open. I said, oh my God, yes. It's another door. Girl, the door was locked. I said, oh my God. I said, this don't look like it got that much safety on there. So, bitch, you can knock through that door. Hiya, kaya, kaya. Kick, bitch, through that door like that. But she did get through, and she was hearing these footsteps, too. I said, oh, no. He's back. Can't do this. I said, please leave. She finally get that door open. And this is when, she gets the door open and she runs outside, and she outside in the daylight. Well, she's outside in fresh air, and she's like, oh my God, thank you, I'm out. And she on the floor, and I said, Keisha, get your ass up and fucking run, bitch. I was so mad because I could see what was about to happen. I said, oh no, Keish, I understand that you glad that you out, but girl, run, Keisha, run. Keisha was still on the goddamn floor, and Mr. Omari brought his ass up there and grabbed her ass. That's when Ronnie heard the screaming or whatever, and I was like, right in the neighborhood. Right in the goddamn neighborhood. While he looking for the shelter, he over here to screaming. I said, Ronnie, go run for her or somebody. Y'all gotta say that, girl. And I don't know who he is, but I think it's somebody that she probably knew. I think he probably an older track coach or whatever, because if you notice, he put her in the old school uniform, track uniforms, okay? And he had a whole rack full of the different type of track uniforms, like he did this before. So, and it's gym shoes. So I'm like, did he used to work with the school? That's what I'm thinking. Girl, he been stalking and doing all this stuff. Girl, I don't know. Girl, y'all tell me what y'all feel about that with Keisha and this Mr. Omari character or whatever his name is. This was a really good episode. You guys tell me how you felt about it. Do y'all think Keisha gonna break free? You think Ronnie gonna be the one that get her? Oh, it was really, really good. Y'all tell me how you feel. If I missed anything, put it down in the comments, and I will see you guys later. Peace.